A police lieutenant with 30 years on the force radioed in at 7:52 in the morning that he was chasing 3 suspicious men into the woods. 3 minutes later, he called for backup, and then silence. His colleagues found him dead in a marsh, shot once in the chest. 400 law enforcement officers flooded the town. Helicopters circled overhead. Schools went on lockdown. The governor ordered flags flown at half-staff. Thousands lined the streets for his funeral procession, 18 miles long. Police officers came from across the entire country to pay their respects, and the 3 men who killed him were never found because they never existed. Let me tell you about G.I. Joe, the cop who staged his own murder. Lieutenant Charles Joseph Gliniewicz had been with the Fox Lake Police Department in Illinois since 1985. Former Army man, military police, drill sergeant, sniper trained, airborne assault, the kind of resume that makes people stand up straight when you walk into a room. His community adored him, his colleagues respected him, parents trusted him with their kids, because on top of everything else, G.I. Joe ran the Fox Lake Police Explorer Post, a program that mentored teenagers who wanted to go into law enforcement, teaching young people the values of service and integrity. For 7 years, he had been stealing from it. Gym memberships, mortgage payments, travel expenses, adult websites, personal loans. Tens of thousands of dollars that were supposed to go toward mentoring children were flowing quietly into G.I. Joe's personal accounts instead. He had been forging signatures on official documents, laundering money through the program, building an elaborate financial web of lies right underneath everyone's nose. And for 7 years, nobody noticed. Then in 2014, a new village administrator named Ann Marin was hired. She started reviewing all village departments. She walked into the Explorer Post clubhouse and found it packed with unusual equipment, flak jackets, supplies that had no business being there. She requested a full inventory. G.I. Joe panicked. His texts from that period tell the whole story. He was texting about his fears constantly, about the audit, about being exposed, and then he crossed a line that is almost impossible to believe. He reached out through contacts trying to find a motorcycle gang member who would be willing to kill Ann Marin before she could finish her investigation. He even texted about planting drugs in her car. The hit never happened. The gang member he approached denied agreeing to anything, but G.I. Joe knew his time was running out. On September 1st, 2015, Ann Marin sent him an email requesting the Explorer inventory by noon. He replied that he would have it to her by 1 o'clock at the latest. At 7:52 that same morning, he radioed dispatch saying he was pursuing 3 suspicious men on foot at an abandoned cement plant outside town. He described them. 2 white males, 1 black male, then he went into those woods alone. He scattered his pepper spray on the ground. He placed his glasses nearby. He arranged the scene to look like a violent struggle had taken place. He pointed his own gun at his phone clipped to his bulletproof vest and fired. The vest absorbed that shot. Then he maneuvered the barrel underneath the vest and fired the fatal shot into his own chest. He knew how to stage a crime scene. He had been teaching teenagers how crime scenes work for years. Within minutes, 400 officers were combing those woods looking for his killers. The manhunt cost more than $300,000. Hundreds of leads poured in. A woman called to say 2 suspicious men had approached her car in a nearby town. That turned out to be a complete fabrication, and she was later charged. Search teams followed a canine unit through a nature reserve for hours, tracking what turned out to be a deer. Nobody found anything because there was nothing to find. Investigators started noticing problems almost immediately. There were no signs of a physical struggle in the area around his body. Forensic evidence showed the fatal shot came from an unusually close distance. His own gun was the weapon, and his phone records showed him lingering alone at the scene for 30 minutes before he ever called for backup. Then they found the deleted text messages, 6,500 of them. Texts about the money, texts about the administrator, texts that revealed a man whose entire carefully constructed life was collapsing around him. 2 months after thousands of people lined the streets to mourn their hero, the Lake County Major Crimes Task Force commander stood before the cameras and said the words that shook that town to its foundation. This was a carefully staged suicide, the end result of extensive criminal acts that Gliniewicz had been committing for years. Signs honoring him around Fox Lake were torn down or defaced with the word liar. Charitable organizations demanded their donations back. His wife and one of his sons were investigated for their possible involvement in the embezzlement. His wife later pleaded guilty to deceptive practice in 2022, and the Explorer Post he ran for years, the program for teenagers who dreamed of becoming police officers, the one he had been stealing from the entire time, its future was left in serious doubt. G.I. Joe spent 30 years building the reputation of a hero, and spent the last 7 of those years systematically destroying everything that reputation stood for. When the walls finally closed in, he chose to die as the man he had pretended to be, rather than live as the man he actually was. The ultimate betrayal. That is exactly what investigators called it. That is the case. Nova out.